I've got a number of examples of the red-green twin peak, and that pattern is a reversal pattern priced down. And I've got a number of examples set up on the chart that I'll flip over to. And I'm going to start over here on the vertical green line. Typically the red-green peak has green at 100, and the red can be at 100, or in this case it looks like it's a little under, and it is zip red is at 95. And I say this is classical or a classic pattern because typically on a red-green peak the red goes down 2 days. And so, like in this case on the green vertical line, zip red is at 51. And on the zip chart, the red-green twin peak has just a number of ways, and each of these lines are examples of the same red-green twin peak pattern. But I'll show you how and why different things work the way they do. In this case here, on the green line, the pattern ended up 4 days later in a nice drop down. On the pink vertical line, this is a 1-day pattern rather than the 2-day pattern, which you know, all of them are that except for this last gray line. That's a 1-day pattern, because they come in 1-day and 2-day red-green twin peaks. In this case here, the day after this, it goes down, and then if you notice, the day after the pink vertical line there, you have a red spike with the zip red at -23 and the zip yellow at 87. So it's an obvious, and that's a classical red spike. A nice green candle the next day. And of course we're in an uptrend on all of our lines, it looks like. Got to verify down here. Yeah, everything is going up. The trend trio is above 0, and I'll grab a hold here. Yeah, it looks like it at 2 was up today as well. So another good indication of that's a 1-day red-green, and also the red is not at 100. The zip red is at 95 in that case as well. Now the green candle on the right side of the pink vertical line is a 2-day red-green peak, and this one has zip yellow at 93. And one of the things that is quite obvious is that the red-green doesn't reverse down. And so I want to share with you how you can identify this. And if you've had a chance to look at other videos, most of you already know, but what you've got here in this example is on the trend chart, as for example, you have the red cross over the top of the green line, which is an indication of an uptrend. And you also have trend gray higher as well, but that's not, trend gray is not always higher, but when trend red crosses over green, and especially when the trio is above 0, you're likely heading up. While I'm on the topic of the trend trio, which is the first of the 3 groups in the short-term trend lines, the power red and green are above 0 and climbing up, and the swing red and green are climbing up. I said that wrong. Power and orange line are climbing up excuse me, in the power chart. Now, so this example, I like to do these examples because it shows you the process that I go through, and you understand the conditions, because not all red-green twin peaks go up. But by looking at the conditions within the example of that stock at that particular point in time, you can tell what it's going to do with a high probability the next day. And so that's what these videos are all about, because giving you the clarification, sharing that information so that you can identify just when to get involved in whatever transaction you're contemplating doing. And the other thing I might add is that on this red-green line day, there in the middle, on the right side of the pink vertical line, that zip yellow line is at 93, and it's gone down. Again, if you remember what I've said, when zip yellow is above 80, sometimes even above 75, but we kind of try to use 80. It seems to happen more often when it's above 80 consistently. When zip yellow is down and above 80, the price will oftentimes go up. And you have a real high, I mean, I don't comment too much on the price chart, but here you have price red at 135, price green at 143, and price blue at 55. So you're 80, 90 points. The green and the red are 80, 90 points above the blue. And as you may or may not know, but if you've heard me talk about the price chart before, you know that when you get a significant difference between the blue and the other two lines, you're in an uptrend, and or let me say this: you're in a market pressure activity that indicates uptrend. So obviously, at some point, it's going to go down, but you're going to have a signal when it goes down. Like right here, when this one here goes down, you've got in the trend gray, you have a high M pattern, and in the trend red, you have a bottlenose pattern. And you probably got several of those throughout the rest of the other charts if I was to break it down and analyze it. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to stick with our example that we're dealing with in the zip chart, and that is on this green line we had a 2-day red-green peak. Going over to the far right green line here next to the gray lines, again we have a little bit different type of red-green twin peak, with red really low at 77, and then it goes flat. And the odd thing about this is that the trend red goes flat and then it goes up, and so it gives us a really good indication of what do we got. We got a zip red bottlenose with zip green at 100. Even the next day, when zip green remains at 100, the zip red went from 84 on that day. The second day zip green was at 100, zip red was at 35. So it dropped 50 points in one day, and it gapped up. And it looks like it's definitely under the green candle, green line close. But we recognized that this one was going to go down by the zip red bottlenose, and there could be a few other things, but I'm not going to get into them right now. Gray, on the first gray line, we have on the zip chart down in here, we have red, zip red at 84, and 2 days later we have zip green at 100, and that's basically the qualifications for a zip green twin peak. Normally, not always, but normally both the zip red is highest and the zip green is highest. Once in a while you have zip pink tied in there with the zip red line as highest, but normally we try to see red green. We try to see red highest, zip red highest, and zip green highest. On this, excuse me, on this right gray line, we have a 1 day zip red is up there, but it is definitely not highest. And there's a lot of other issues inside of this thing with zip blue, zip Zion, and it looks like here, let me look. Zip pink is at 86 and zip red is at 84. So pink, Zion, and blue were all above zip red on the day before this right gray line, vertical line. So again, that's got enough of a problem not having the highest red line that we would question what is going to happen with that line, because we're looking at a red green twin peak. But you've probably already identified it. We move this gray line over 1 day, and now we have a 2-day red-green peak. And bingo, we have a good solid pattern there. We got several several bottom of cycle higher indicators on the peak. The zip blue is higher, zip gray is higher, zip red is higher, and zip yellow is higher. So there's 4 of them right there. All of your price greens are in a BOC higher pattern as well. So many different examples here of a 1 day and a 2 day red-green twin peak. The twin peaks are reversal patterns down. I think I said this on this video already, but and the red-green twin spike patterns are I don't want to say spike. The red-green twin patterns are down and reverse back up. So they're good solid patterns. They work well. We can identify them reasonably well. It's easy to see when you've got good indicators.